She's low-key probably one of my favorite characters, all right? It's like Inacia, Booba. Inacia has a husband. I like him. Xenia, somebody else, but it's like it's a clear top 5. It's like you have the logical characters and then you have the dumbasses. I don't like the dumbasses, and that's like 90%. That 10% strong, though. I'm good with the 10%. They keep me grounded to the show. Oi, through the bang. It's KD, and I'm back again with another Brazilian Portuguese learning video. Today, I'm going to be going over another section of the Brazilian novela Renascer, or Hennessy, depending on how you pronounce it. Decided to kind of do reviews maybe once a month after I get a chunk of material in. It's going crazy, it's going different places, so it's kind of hard to streamline exactly what's going on, but I'm trying the best of my abilities to keep up with it. Roxy's going to also watch as well. Definitely give you an overview of the story because, again, no English whatsoever. It's strictly my interpretation and anything I may ask Gabby. Let's jump right into it. The review of Renascer. Part 2. Picking up where we left off last time, the time jump, okay? It's been 30 years since Maria Santa has died, and Zé Inocencia, Papa Zé, has grown his cacao business into a cacao empire. The 3 older sons, all of which are named Zé, have moved on. They went away for school and now live in other cities, not the farm. The first son we meet in the series is Zé Venancio, who's named after his grandfather, Maria Santa's dad, the creepy guy. Just going to call him Venancio from henceforth. Venancio has a great job, lives in Rio, has like a nice penthouse in Zona Sul. I want one of them. I really do. He's married to a gorgeous wife, so naturally he wants to fuck all that up. He's suffering from success, okay? He decides that he's not happy, steps out on his wife with this other woman named Booba. His wife throws him this 30th birthday party. He leaves in the middle of the party, goes and finds Booba. They get into a very intimate situation and come to find out that Booba is not a she. Well, she is a she, but used to be a he. Don't cancel me. He needs time to process all this information, so he leaves because he still has feelings for Booba, but that's a heavy one. Come to find out, his wife got very depressed after he left the party and overdosed on pills, and so he goes immediately to her in the hospital. He stays with his wife and kind of nurses her back. They try and work things out, but just realize they've grown apart, and of course he realizes he still loves Booba. And during this time, we meet another brother, Jose Bento, or Broke Bento. I call him Broke Bento. Bento has this vision that he should be given money. Since his dad has a cacao empire, he just deserves a piece of that and doesn't really need to work. This guy is a lawyer. I didn't know this until after a while. Apparently lawyers in Brazil don't make that much money. Like how? I think that, and I kind of came to this thing, he views him and the older brothers as like the Huey, Dewey, and Louie to Uncle Scrooge, who is Papa Zé. Yeah, he's got money. Why would I work? You know what I'm saying? And I guess João Pedro is like, I don't know, Webby, you know, the other. If you ever watch DuckTales, you know what I'm talking about. 2 side notes. One is that Broke Bento has a girlfriend that sticks beside him even though she knows he's Broke Bento.
Look at the screen. And that's what you're going to settle for.
I'm going to stick beside him.
It's crazy. Other side note is that Broke Bento, the actor, was in Melanina Carioca. So deixa se envolver. Which is crazy. I like that song even before I watched the show. I can't hate Broke Bento all the way. That's the point. That's the moral. And that's pretty much where we're at with the sons, with the exception of the oldest one. I think he's the oldest, Zé Agosto. We don't meet him till later. Back on the cacao farm, the only son to have stayed is João Pedro. He knows how to work the farm. Update on the gang from before the time jump. Jupiter has sadly passed away of a disease. His wife, Flor, we don't see her. She's gone ever since Jupiter died. And his daughter, Xenia, stayed but ended up moving in to stay with Diocleciano and Morena, who don't have a kid anymore. Morena got pregnant and the baby died. And João Pedro grew up with Xenia as like a sister. They're real close. And of course, he spent more time with Diocleciano and Morena because Papa Zé hates him for killing Maria Santa, kinda. So that's kind of a speed run of how their whole dynamic works now. Jacachinga is still there, still holding down the local brothel, I guess. Joao Pedro goes to visit her, and there's this girl here that he gets googly-eyed over as soon as he sees her named Mariana. He decides to offer her a job with his dad back at the cacao farm. Now, of course, people are naturally apprehensive over Mariana because what makes you special? Where did you come from? And she has no answers for any of these questions. The person who's most apprehensive is Inacia. Inacia does not miss, all right? There's not been one expression that that woman has given that I don't agree with. I gave the same expression myself. It's like, she don't miss, man. But it's for good reason, because come and find out, she's the granddaughter of Brazilian Teddy Roosevelt, Bellarmino. Yeah, that guy. Random. Turns out that she initially came because she was very vindictive, wanted revenge on Papa Zay, but she realizes that life could be better living with him in his estate. So she says, I don't care anymore, and just decides to kind of live there. Her and Joao Pedro have a sort of fling. They kiss one time. She's very flirtatious. She did come from Jacachinga's spot, so you know. So at this point, the Kedrick meter of novella tolerance is reaching a high level, all right? The belief that this is believable is not. It's not. Like, where does she come from? The granddaughter of Brazilian Teddy Roosevelt just pops up at your estate and everybody's like, yeah, she can stay. Cool. No. All types of suspicion. I don't like it. But let it go, because a novella is a novella. As soon as she's allowed to stay there, this girl kind of walks around in nightgowns with no clothes all the time. Zay, after 30 years of living a life of solitude, starts seeing Maria Santa in Mariana.
That's suspicious.
And quickly on the relationship between Joao Pedro and Zay, they work very well together, but it's clear that Zay doesn't fully trust Joao, and that Joao is always going to be the beta to the Zay alpha. You feel what I'm saying? It's not like he will inherit the empire because he's the son of Zay. It's more so like he's the son, so he's the best worker I got, and that's how it's going to stay. Mariana senses this. She shifts her focus of attraction and flirtation from Joao Pedro to Papa Zay. Crazy. And to me, this is some cold-blooded stuff. I bought you here, and now you gonna shift your focus to my dad? Oh, bitch, you gotta go. You got to go. Zay decides to go on a vacation because apparently this man hasn't been on a vacation in 30 years. And guess who invites herself on the vacation? Mariana. She continues to flirt. He tries his best to resist, but eventually things fall and they end up kissing and sharing a moment. And this song that play is more novella stuff. Kedrick's tolerance of novella. New heights when you start adding in music that indicates certain scenes, all right? And there's this song, Quero Você.
Quero você. Pode até ser pra sempre. Quero você. Pode até ser pra sempre. Quero você.
Não arrependo de nada.
Pode até ser pra sempre.
It plays every time they have a romantic moment. There is no romance with these two people in my mind, all right? Beautiful song. This song does not deserve to go to these two people. These two characters do not deserve this song. It just makes me sick to my stomach sometimes, all right? I'm through. Zay gets his Maria Santa 2.0 and Mariana gets to be Donna of the household, kinda. One more quick side note of why this is weird. Mariana wants to be with Zay, but at the same time still wants to call him Painho, just like Joao Pedro and the other sons do. So it's like a daddy situation, which I understand can be, you know, a term of endearment of sorts. But the reason she even initiated is because the son calls him that. It is super weird. The creepiness on this show is cringeworthy at times.
That's weird.
Things move at light speed pace from this point. Not only do they tell everybody that they're in love, Zay intends to marry this woman in a week. My boy Joao Pedro is hurt. Understandably so. You mean to tell me the girl I bought here shifted her focus to my dad, and my dad is now in love with the girl that I bought here. I mean, he had one tear. We're talking like Denzel Washington glory, one tear. Wesley Snipes as Nino Brown, one tear. I felt that tear. That is pain. And he tries to hide it. He tries his best to hide it. But man, my dad stole my girl. That's, whew. I don't want it. Zay then calls his sons, Venancio and Bento. Why he doesn't call Augusto, I don't know. Again, soap opera logic. And tells them to come home. He has something important to tell them, which is that he's going to be marrying Maria Santa and that they should stay because they're getting married in a week. Light speed. He met this girl and she was married to him in less than 3 weeks. Not real life, like in the show, 3 weeks. Cradle to grave. Soap opera tolerance level, new heights. Venancio decides to end things with his wife. So they're getting a divorce and he wants to be with Booba. So he moves in with Booba and decides to take Booba to meet his dad. He tries to hide the relationship from everybody else with Booba, but Booba don't play that. Broke Bento comes along with his girlfriend who's ride or die. After Zay tells them about Mariana, that Mariana is Bellarmino's granddaughter and that he intends to marry her, Broke Bento's like, so what about the money? We need to divide this stuff up before we bring her into the fold. So he could care less about, how we ended up here. Bento brings this to Zay. Zay doesn't care. He's like, y'all just want my money. Venancio's like, look, I got money. I don't need your money. That's Bento. Joao Pedro doesn't care about the land at all. He's still hurt and crying. Again, understandably so. But they decide to go ahead and divvy up things how they need to be divvied up. Jacachinga, she uses this as a sign that she needs to leave. Now, I didn't mention him last time, but there's a guy, Norberto. Norberto is the only person in the show that breaks the fourth wall and looks directly in the camera. All right, he owns a bar across the street from Jacachinga's spot, and him and Jacachinga have been in a situationship of sorts since the beginning. Jacachinga doesn't want to be with him. She can't be tied down. Jacachinga says, you know what? This is a sign. I'm out. And he's like, cool, I'm going with you. She's like, no, I go alone. And this man is hurt. I mean, we talking about more than Joao Pedro is hurt.
Dona Jacachinga! Dona da minha vida.
A 30-year situationship, I would have told her like, yo, I'm going too. I don't care if you tell me no, I'm gonna be there. Book a room down the street. It was funny to me. That was probably like the highlight of this last couple of weeks. Yeah, the wedding happens. Joao Pedro cries some more. That's pretty much it. It's not it. It's just a good stopping point. At this point, we reach a criticality. All right, this is like Oppenheimer type physics of novellas, and it explodes and we get different storylines going different directions, and it's kind of hard to tie it in. So this is a good stopping point for now. Just as a quick speed run on things to come, you have a girl named Tekka who's introduced, who's pregnant by a guy named Du. They live in the streets of Rio. Mind you, that's where Venancio and Booba stay. Booba hits Tekka with her car and then wants to ensure that she's all right, takes her in, and now she's living with Booba and Venancio. Booba wants to adopt a kid because, she not gonna say it. Booba wants to adopt a kid. Tekka's pregnant. Novella logic. Venancio's ex-wife finds out about Booba and makes a vow to ruin his life. Dude named Damiao shows up out of nowhere. Yo, I want to work for you, Zay. Crab dude, I'm calling him Crab Killer from now until I learn his real name. He wants to change his life, goes searching for work with his family, ends up at Pica-Pau Jr.'s farm. So Pica-Pau had a son who came back to his father's land. I call him Pica-Pauzinho. Pica-Pauzinho hires this guy, but has a weird fetish attraction towards this guy's wife, Crab Killer. Why do I call him Crab Killer? Because dude killed crabs and killed anybody that looked at his wife. And guess what? Pica-Pauzinho is looking at his wife. So that's going to be a whole storyline. And Augusto eventually comes into the picture. That's pretty much it. I know that was kind of all over the place. It's a novella. Point is that I am understanding, at least I think I am, things, and it does make a difference to just watch a show in Portuguese. I'm get to a point where I'm not even going to have subtitles on just to try to help me hear it. It's a crazy show. Don't do this to yourself. Find something short. It's 8 episodes. You through. Do that. Don't do this. You don't want this life. All right. I hope that you like this video. And if you like this video, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one. If I make it. Peace. Ciao, ciao. Kiss, kiss. Beijo.